Hey there, fellows. Today we'll be experimenting with this lovely automobile, and here's what we have in mind. A question recently occurred to us. Just how narrow can you make the exhaust pipe and still have an engine that is able to run? As in, how small can the hole be for the engine to still be able to push the gases out? We'll be making the hole progressively smaller until we find the terminal diameter that still allows the engine to breathe. Even if it might struggle, we still want to see more or less stable engine operation. We'll probably go with some plugs that we'll stick into the tailpipe, which we're going to add on to reduce the flow of the exhaust system. Okay, well, let's get stuck right into it. So if you haven't been in our merch shop for a while, we have added a bunch of cool new stuff, such as these handmade wallets and holders made out of genuine leather. It's a must-have for any dude who needs a reliable and convenient place to keep his documents. We also have an assortment of t-shirts, caps, and key fobs with a fresh design. There is a lot to cover, so better you head on over to our shop and check out what we got. For anybody who places an order right now, I'll slip in a card with my picture and my personal autograph. Make sure to use PayPal to pay for your order, so that it goes through with no issues. Add something new to your collection of Garage 54 merch, and receive a card with my autograph. So head on over to our online shop, and the link, of course, is going to be in the description. We make the tiniest exhaust, 5mm. Will the engine start? Translation and voiceover by BMI Russian. Okay guys, we're at the test track. We've got everything prepared, the exhaust itself is fully sealed, so everything is looking good. We've got our exhaust system plugs over here, and now let's see how it drives in stock form. And after that we get to progressively choking the engine, I guess, and see how that affects acceleration. Okay, let's get out there. First to second. Going for third. I saw 76 on the Race Logic. That's how much it's gotten third. With the engine pretty much on the limiter, which is to say that the revs are no longer climbing at that point. So the diameter is currently at 40. I suggest we try, 30. Let's go right down to 30. Get it on nice and tight. Excellent. 30mm, let's go. The engine is nice and warm, everything is on point. $76. Almost got up to 85 there. Excellent. Tremendous. My guess is that it warmed up and accelerates much better because of that. 85 Ks. That's with the tailpipe pinched to 30mm. Now let's take that off and put the 25mm plug on. Let's go. Is the diameter of that orifice sufficient? Well, we are moving. We're all right. The acceleration is exactly the same. Everything is good. You know, it feels as if when the diameter is at 25mm, Actually 30. The car had better acceleration. It's like that created some back pressure. I don't know, I can't quite put my finger on it. Plus the throttle response felt different. But let's do a control run. Before we try the tiniest diameter plugs out, let me have another go with the stock tailpipe and see how she do. Accelerating. Second at the limiter. Now I'm in third. And let's see what's up. Yep, it was able to get up to 85. But when we pinched the exhaust, when we were down to 25, I mean to say at 25 to 30, it was accelerating better. Well, at least that's my subjective feeling. I do think it felt stronger, but hey. The point of this is finding the minimal diameter where the car can still accelerate. Now let's go down to 20. And here we go. 20 millimeters. Okay, there's a humming sound inside the cabin. The engine has developed a hum with all of that back pressure. Look at it go. It drives all right, though. It was driving all right on the 20, but you can really tell that the gases are having trouble making it out. That being said, the car still drove okay. So that was the 20, but now we're running... Yeah, that is a tiny hole. It's a mere 15 millimeters, and it just looks tiny. Runs just like it used to. When you're parked, you rev the engine and everything is just the same. Time to drive. The acceleration has definitely gotten worse. Can you hear the hum? It is pretty intense. Come on. Yeah. Now the engine... I'm assuming there's quite a bit of back pressure happening. You should have been able to hear that. It has developed, a very audible hum inside the exhaust. And the engine can no longer rev as high. I couldn't even get up to 80 Ks just now, let alone 85. So it is definitely struggling. But it is running, the car can drive. So let's remove the 15 and... what do we have next? We've already done 30, 25, and now we're down to 10. Look at it. That is super tiny. Idling. It runs. So it's more than happy to idle. What if I rev it? Yeah, without any load, it revs all right. But let's go for a drive now. 10 mil is a very tiny hole. Okay, well, pedal to the metal and let's go for it. See how she do. Okay, now it's developed some sort of rev cut or something. 60, 62, come on, 63. Doesn't want to go any faster. Okay, so that time, without a single doubt, 10 millimeters is way too narrow for an exhaust pipe, if you want the engine to run properly. But interestingly enough, it's still able to drive. And 10 mil, I mean, that's nothing. Incredible. Okay, here's what I suggest we do now. The exhaust system is blocked off completely, no holes in the plug. And now we're gonna go ahead and try starting the car and see what comes out of that. Fire it up. Okay, the car is running. It's very much idling. And that's it. As soon as the pressure built up, the engine stalled. Now there have to be tiny leaks somewhere in there, even through this threaded connection. The pressure will drop, and it might even start one more time. Okay, start it and try pressing the gas at least halfway down. That's it. There you go, the engine can even rev up. Albeit it can't keep that up for long before it stalls. Okay, let's see how the engine runs with a tailpipe diameter of 5 millimeters. I am super curious. So let's screw this plug on. Tighten it. 5 mil. Okay, it started. Now we wait. See what happens. It's running. It's running. Amazing. What if I rev it? Still happy to run. Will you look at that? This is just... Okay, this calls for a drive. Here we go. Oh wow, listen to it hiss. That is some intense engine deceleration. It doesn't want to build revs. I let off the gas and it's all down to the back pressure. And there is a lot of it in the system. Second, come on now. Doesn't want to accelerate. Let's see how fast we can go. Second gear. Come on now, come on. 27. Third gear. 30. 37. 38. 39. Come on. Come on. Nope. That's all it's got. 38 kilometers an hour. In third gear. So I could only get up to 38 in third. It's not 85, but the car does accelerate. Let's try something different. If it can move with the 5 mil plug, with a tailpipe of essentially that diameter, let's go even lower. That's a good 3 mil. Let's try it out. As long as there is some orifice, the engine should run apparently. Screw it on. And let's see what comes out of this. It's running. Okay, it doesn't want to hold idle. Oh, come on. Nah, that's it. There you go. So at the end of the day, 3 mil isn't enough. The engine refuses to run, even at idle. So 5 is enough, 3 isn't. Okay, why don't you give me a self-tapper? It's got a 4mm drill bit. So we've used this self-tapper to bore that hole out. And this drill bit should have brought it up to 4 or 4.5 millimeters. It's not exactly 4, but go start the engine. It runs. It is a very, very fine line. 3 mil and 4.5. My goodness. So it can't run on 3. It very much can on 4.5. Maybe it'll even drive. It does. And quite. We are flying. This is doing very well. The engine braking, though. It's struggling to push the gases out. They're exerting pressure on the pistons. I mean, wow, man, the engine braking on this is quite intense. Come on. And that's a wrap. This has got a very noticeable effect. That was about 35, and it stalled. And so here's where that leaves us. The stock diameter is about 40 mil, and the car is obviously gonna run all right. It was also doing well with a 30 mil plug, and it was all right on the 25. To me, the 25 and 30 actually felt like an improvement even. At 20 it was doing all right, but I heard a hum. That tells you there's excess pressure inside the exhaust. 15 hum intensifies, we're still going. 10 mil, we're still driving. Albeit not too fast. 5 mil, still going. But how much of the gases can even get through a 5 mil hole? We were able to reduce the tailpipe diameter all the way down to 4.5 before the engine started giving up. Now, you saw us fitting all of those plugs to the tailpipe, of course, after the muffler. And obviously, if the entire system were of that diameter, that would have given the engine a much harder time. Our objective was to find out the terminal diameter which would allow enough gases through, and that would be 4.5 mil. And that's all I got for you. Watch us, subscribe, send in your suggestions, comment, give us a big thumbs up. All right, catch you later.